my goal with Elestral Central is to make content that's easy and digestible for anyone. It's like you have two children in front of you and you have to decide which one you love more.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not proud of my work overall with it. I've been like nothing but Elestrals like constantly every day. Now I'm here because of Rivals of Aether. It almost put me to tears, and I was like, yep, this is great. Right now, there is a hole in the Elestrals YouTube space. Believe me, people, I've seen it. I know you want it. Because Majesty is like my favorite Elestral right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even then, I was making like original music, but it sucked. Yes, I'm making music, but I'm making music for everyone at home, all of you. We are very passionate about the game. We have faith in Elestrals. I've been sitting like a kid in a candy shop waiting for someone to remix an Elestrals chat, but that's one of the first projects I ever joined.
Now that we've kind of come full circle here, what made Elestrals home for you?
What makes Elestrals home for me is a bunch of different things. I said it in the beginning that this has been a dream come true. Any music composer, especially one that's a big Pokemon fan, like of course we've all, most of us have been all raised on Pokemon and how amazing the music for the Pokemon series is. And
one thing I can say is it is incredible. It is absolutely mind-blowing how universal and like centric Pokemon the Pokemon community is, and how Pokemon literally brings a whole group, a whole generation of people together. It connects a lot of us, Pokemon does, because it was such an integral part of a lot of our childhoods.
It's been around for so long.
And I think what really made me stop, take a step back and look at it like, holy crap, this is something that defined a generation. And I'm a part of it, and it's still growing and still introducing new people with each iteration that comes out. Was when Pokemon Go released back in 2016, I think it was. That
I wouldn't even say it defined a generation. It defined multiple generations.
Yeah, that's a way better way of putting it. But it like as soon as Pokemon Go released, and then you just see all of these people walking around with their phones just catching Pokemon, I'm like, what is happening here? Like I couldn't believe it. It shocked me, the amount of people that were just on board with it, and I never saw it that way. It's so
everyone
crazy.
As a kid, as a Pokemon fan, they all had that dream. You know, when you're a kid, you have an imagination like no one else.
Oh yeah.
Everyone always had a dream as a little kid to be a Pokemon trainer and be able to go out and catch actual Pokemon. And Pokemon Go gave us that first real look at that. That would be amazing for Elestrals to be able to do the same, but I don't think we're going to be there for a very, very long time, if at all.
It's gonna be a very long time for sure, but everything is moving in the right direction.
In the way we want it to,
yes.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but like
of course, it's action.
It's crazy because yeah, that's a main part of the Elestrals community as well, is like Pokemon lovers. We all came from that realm, that aspect, loving playing the games, loving the soundtracks and everything. So
exactly. And I mean, anyone would be jumping for joy that being able to do what I do. It's a dream come true for any composer, realistically, to be able to be a part of a series that so many people say has the potential to do amazingly. Granted, we're not in PAL World levels right now.
No,
but
that was insane.
With that.
That was absolutely bonkers.
It was just Pokemon with guns. That's all people were excited about. But like the fact that so many people say that Elestrals has the potential to do that is amazing to me. I'm so happy that people genuinely believe in what we do, and it helps to make this dream come true more and more every single time, because right now I work a day job. And then I do this as well on top of it. But eventually I want Elestrals to be at a point, like this is my ultimate goal for Elestrals. I want it to be at a point where I can quit working a day job and make my day job entirely Elestrals focus.
Yes.
That would be an ultimate dream come true.
Absolutely. And I really think it's possible. Because right now, Frostfall isn't even out yet, man. Like, the cards are revealed.
So many people are hyped.
It's not out me. Yet. It still isn't here. It's still not here. This is the starting point. This is like right here at the beginning, because base set finally got re-released and everybody got base set. But guess what? Base set was the same as Kickstarter. So that's product that has been here for 2 years already. People have been playing with it for 2 years. Now the ball is going to start rolling. As soon as Frostfall touches people's hands, man, it is gonna be nuts. I think it's gonna be a train that's just gonna go off the rails.
It's gonna keep going and
it's
never stop.
It's gonna just fly, man. That's my prediction. That's what I see. Because once we get a new set, it's gonna be like, holy crap, look at all the new things that we have access to, all of these new cards that interact with each other. We can build crazy new decks now. It's like so many new decks are gonna be made, and it's gonna be so fun to see. And because the community is a lot larger now than it was when like, you know, the Kickstarters happened and like prototype, you know, all the testing for the base set cards, you know, those have been around for a while. There's just that core group of people that have been there testing them. Now that the community has grown a little bit larger, people like myself, like others have come in recently, just within the past few months since the digital apps release, which is almost coming up on a year, I believe, here in a couple of months. So, I mean, for me, it's only been like 5 months, I think. So not even half a year of playing this game, you know? So there's a lot of people like myself that are just picking it up for the first time, that are going to be able to be a part of a set release and see what all we can come up with, you know? And it's just going to continue to grow from there. And really, realistically speaking, I feel like where it's really going to start spiking is after we get all the elements officially released.
Yeah.
Set 5, after all elements are released, that's when I feel like things are really going to start taking off, because instead of a release being an element focused, it's going to be able to incorporate everything. And that's got me super hype. I just cannot wait.
The thing is with these sets is even though like the next few sets are going to be like focused around a specific element, each set is still going to feature all of the elements. Right. That's not going to stop there. But I think a big thing with Frostfall in particular, with it finally releasing, is the thought of we didn't fail with base set. I think that's like a huge thing to think about, is that a lot of Kickstarter projects will be successful, but a lot of them will either never end up shipping their products to people because it became a scam, or they just, even though they met their goal, like expenses came up and all this stuff, and just stuff out of their control, or it just wasn't successful for them. Elestrals didn't fail in that regard. We had problems with the manufacturing, and we had to relocate manufacturing, but
all the props in the world to you guys for that, because I feel like a normal person under those circumstances would have just been like, nah, I'm not going through that.
Right. And the big thing is, like, even after like releasing the Kickstarter cards and everything, I think the big thing is we could have just released base set and maybe not have made enough money, and would have ended up having to, you know, call it quits or something, potentially. But we didn't get to that point. And it's thanks to everyone in the community for loving what we make, and more importantly, purchasing the stuff that we make for you, that got us to this point. And now Frostfall is basically the sign of us not stopping and not having a reason to stop at this point, because we have the community, that we have the numbers to be able to do it. I feel like, in my opinion, Out of the 4 sets this year, Frostball genuinely is the best set to come out of all 4 of the sets. Some people might not agree with me by the end of the year, but in terms of not only importance, but also for what you get out of Frostball, I said it in my set review video on Elestral Central. I said a lot
very
of cards
insightful
had potential.
Yeah, a lot of insightful information in your video, man. I gotta say that. I
it seems like to me, like, granted, I pay attention to what's in sets, but I don't fully pay attention to memorize everything, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the brain for that. I do that with phones already, but I feel like Frostfall has a ton of playable cards that have some sort of potential, whether it's big or small. Every card in that set almost has potential.
Yep.
And that alone makes Frostfall, in my opinion, the best set of the year. Guaranteed.
I am inclined to agree with you. I look at a lot of these cards that have been, revealed and that are going to be coming out, and I'm just like, that is such a crazy, wild effect that I think has potential to be bonkers later on down the line. It's there's some cards in there that I'm just like, that is super fun. I am gonna play that. I don't care if it does good against Earth Beaters or Thunder Nexus or whatever else, man. I think that card is fun. That is a card that is gonna make me, when I play the game, have a lot of fun, because it's gonna mess with my opponent and they're gonna be like, what is happening? You know what I mean?
That for me is Chivalroar Whale Lance. People are telling me that it's not going to do well. I'm not going to do well with it, all this stuff, but I'm here to tell you, I'm going to prove you all wrong. All right. It's going to contain 2 copies of Chivalroar, 1 copy of Whale Lance, because Whale Lance is going to be the key to Earth Beaters.
Yep. Absolutely. People, to me, what it feels like, and this is no offense to any of the people that are in the competitive scene and have been around a while, I feel like they just tunnel vision too hard on what they see that is going to be good, and that they know is going to impact, like, the current meta, that they know is going to be up there as a top contender, right? And then they overlook these cards that have really cool and fun wild effects, like Chivalroar, like Dracodoodle,
like, Chivalroar for me is like the quintessential Pokemon card, in my opinion. I said this before in the video. Chivalroar reminds me a lot of a card from the Pokemon Sun and Moon era, Naganadel. It had an ability where once per turn you take an energy from a basic energy from your discard pile and you attach it to your bench Naganadel. This same sort of effect goes with Chivalroar, where you once per turn are able to take a Frost Spear from your underworld and attach it to one of your Frost Elestrals in play. I think it's either that or just your regular Elestrals in play. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think so. It might be Frost centric, but I can't quite remember.
I think it's Frost centric.
Yeah,
but yeah, just that ability to have that like consistency, because like in Pokemon, that's extremely important. It's like a really, really good thing. And people don't think that's going to be the case with Chivalroar, but I'm going to prove them wrong with that. But even more, it also has the ability to not be countered by counter runes with Mountains of Boreas.
Yep.
And I've been a proprietor in telling people, you need to play stadium cards, because stadium cards are super helpful in getting the numbers right.
Yes. I will stand by this. Ever since I started playing the game, before I even knew anything about what was the best deck, what the meta was, what the good cards were, I was like, these stadium cards need to be in my deck. I need to have at least 1 copy of a stadium in my deck. I don't care what deck it is. I need to have at least 1 stadium, because they can turn the tide of a game like that. And I feel like people underestimate and undervalue the stadium cards, and I still don't understand why, especially with Frostfall. I feel like we're going to see a lot more people bringing in the stadiums, just because of the cards that focus around having your stadium in play, like Chivalroar, like Race to the Top, like Stoke the Forge, You know, those are cards that
Rise to the Depths. Yeah.
Rise from the dude. Don't even get me started on Rise from the Depths, man. As a water player, bro, that card
is so beautiful too.
I love the artwork on that card.
Honestly, Frostfall has introduced me to my favorite artist for this series. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Jacques and Arts. Oh my gosh.
that Rise from the Depths artwork is so good, man.
Yeah, but they also did Mountains of Boreas too.
They did Mountains of Boreas too. Okay.
They did Mountains of Boreas.
I'm with
Mountains
you.
of Boreas in particular, is my phone wallpaper.
Oh,
so,
dude, yeah. For good reason, man. That artwork is so beautiful, man. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, like Frostfall is an amazing set. I'm so excited for it when it comes out. And you're gonna see me play in the first webcam tournament for Frostfall with my Chivalry Whale Lance deck, with my 12 Stellar Fleur Mines, my 3 Stellar Frigid Cubs, all my Stellar Ambrosias, of course, just all of my like promo cards and all that stuff, like the hollow foils. It's gonna be so pretty.
I cannot wait, man. You know,
I mean, of course, I'm also building more Frost. I'm building more Frost. I am too.
I feel like anybody who plays this game is gonna build a more Frost deck just because it's such a cool, fun deck, man. Like the things you can do with that deck is absurd, man. It's got such
you have no idea. You have not played with the deck yet. I
haven't.
My first ever game won with Elestrals TCG, because I suck at the game basically, was with Morfrost. That's how good the deck is.
Wow, okay.
So like it is a really good deck, and the Frost element, a lot of cards really do help out Morfrost a lot.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple I can list off the top of my head.
It is a card to be careful of.
Yeah, Morfrost is insane. And I mean, just think about it this way. Distant Coder says Morfrost is cracked.
It is.
The champion who clearly knows what this game is about.
I mean,
he's a what?
Saying it.
4-time champion at this point, Coder?
Yeah.
4-time champion. He's saying the deck is cracked. If you're not listening to that, then I don't understand. You've got to be so hard-headed to think that Morfrost is not good.
Like, it is really powerful of a deck. Genuinely, it is a very powerful deck. And you have to figure out a way to deal with it from like as early as possible, because like I feel like a decent amount of decks in Elestrals are heavily defensive oriented. Like games can generally start off pretty slow. Not with Morfrost.
No, Morfrost.
Not with Morfrost.
Morfrost is
Morfrost from the very get-go is swinging immediately. That's how insane of a card it is. Like, I have already, I'm planning on getting my hands on 3 copies of the Stellar Abominable form somehow in some way. I need to.
Well, those are the promos, right, for Frostfall?
For
the LGS? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like those will be easy
if
enough.
you just like reach out to I might just ask them to send me 3.
Yeah.
Ask the dev team to send me 3 copies.
Maybe.
I have my terraforms already from the Frost month.
Yeah.
I have 3 of the Stellar promo Lycan forms from pre-ordering Frostfall stuff.
Yep.
Which means I get my playset of Abominursa as well.
There you go.
As a side, but I have my Lycan forms in Stellar Beauty form. So the only 2 that I would be looking for would be, of course, Abominable form and Indus form.
Yeah.
Indus form is a common, Abominable form is a regular rare, so I know I'm probably going to get 3 of each for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because I'm getting a booster box and a half worth of packs altogether.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no way I'm not going to.
Yeah, for me, I think I got, so it's 3 booster packs in each of the starter decks, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I got one of each starter, so that's 6. I got a booster box, that's 36, so that's 42. And then I got 3 of each blister, so that's 9. 42 plus 9 is
51.
51. There we go. So I'm gonna have 51 packs to open. That's pretty good odds to pull almost every single.
See, I went a little more crazy because I got the staff discount. I did 3 separate orders. So my first order was just the booster box, and I got the promos. Then my second order was a Cryo Scorch starter deck and 12 Fluoromine Stellar blisters. 12 of them, because I want 12 Stellar Fluoromines to use in a deck. That got me the promos as well. And then after that, I ordered the Circle of the Sky V3 playmat. Because I'm going to replace that with my Atlantis one. I got a Frost deck box because I had to, and 3 Stellar Frigica blisters, and that got me my 3rd set of promos. All together, I am getting 36 from the booster box and 18 additional booster packs, so half of a booster box.
Yep. Nice. So a booster and a half. That's gonna net you at least one of each copy of cards, you know, at the very least. You're gonna get at least 1 copy of everything, and probably multiple copies of other good things as well.
Hoping for 2 copies of Shiver War, 1 copy of Whale Lance. I'm looking for probably as many Chains of Prometheus as I can.
Yep.
Obviously I'm getting 1. Probably only 1 extra Divine Blessing, because I think it's a side deck card right now. And then everything else is awesome as well, because I know I'm going to get most cards, of course. I already have 3 copies of Kione with the statue full arts. Yep. I did buy 2 more, so I have a play set of them.
Nice.
Because surprisingly, people have been selling them for not that much, so that's been awesome.
Well, honestly, man, I think the prices are inflated within the marketplace in the Elestrals community, because it's all community prices.
Yeah, bro, I bought 2 Kione statue full arts for $12 a piece.
That's nice. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, Atreyu was selling them for $12 a piece on the Elestrals marketplace, and I was like, yeah, get me 2.
Yep.
Because I already have 1. I'll pay you for 2.
There you
Done
go.
deal. Play set.
That's
for the
easy.
Chivalry Whale Lance
Easy,
deck.
man, easy.
I have plenty of chances to get some pretty good cards. I'm not looking for the full arts. I'm looking for Stellars, because I need this meme to end within the staff. For those who don't know, I am one of the only staff members in the Elestrals staff team that hasn't pulled a Stellar yet. I am one of the only ones.
Oh,
and
man.
It's been a constant joke.
You're at this point, you're just like, guys, come on. just
every
let it
single
die.
every single time they post in our staff chat that they pulled a Stellar, I'm like, oh come on, man.
Like, God, I can't win.
I'm like, bro, that's amazing that you pulled a Stellar, but what the heck?
You feel like it's just
I have to grovel. I have to grovel on my knees and beg.
At this point, Dan's just on board. He just secretly knows which packs have Stellars, and he's making sure that they don't send them to you.
It's just my luck. And I don't even know if I can consider even doing the reverse Stellars as a part of that, because it's been the serialized Stellars the whole time.
Yeah.
That's been the real meme with it. So I don't even know if I should consider the reverse Stellars with it. I think for now, I'm not. I want a serialized Stellar, just because I want the meme to end.
At least pull a serialized, at least. I've only pulled 1, so... I mean, I got lucky in that regards, and technically it wasn't even mine. It was a buddy of mine who purchased the product happily for us. He just doesn't have a space for it, so it stays here with me, and we essentially share, and it's what's his is mine and what's mine is his type of ordeal. So, it's that kind of. So technically, the Stellar pull was his, but I opened it, so it was. He gave it to me. He's like, "There you go, man. That's yours." So that kind of thing. Of course, at that point in time, it was like we did not know exactly what the Stellar was. I was just like, oh yeah, that's really cool. That's one of the special like shiny cards, you know, that's one of those. Unbeknownst to me, I was like, I did not know it was like a 1 of 99, like ever, like no more than 99 would ever be printed. I was like,
Yep.
dude, what?
Yeah.
It's like I should have had a much better reaction to this.
I'm very excited for the Frostfall cards just to see if I could pull one.
Your time is coming, man. Your time is definitely coming.
Eventually, it will be there.
It is your time. I promise you. And then that's going to be your card for all time. That's going to be one of those featured framed cards. We've talked Elestrals. We've talked Tailwinds. Let's talk about other passions. Specifically, your phone collection. Let's talk about the collection of phones, okay? So this is what strikes me as very interesting, right? We have people that collect movies, right? We have people that collect Funko Pops, you know? Action figures. We have people that collect trading cards. We have people that collect books. They're not Tailwinds. Tailwinds collects phones. What is the reasoning behind this? Because it's very, very interesting to me that you collect phones and are very passionate about having a phone collection.
So, it's very weird. So about almost 2 years ago, I got hired to work at a T-Mobile store. And like I've been a tech geek all of my life. I love technology and everything about it except for AI right now that can go kick itself in the rear end.
Agreed.
But the more and more I was working for T-Mobile, the more and more I really liked phones a lot. There was just something about them that was just like, I love these things. But it was a kind of a multitude of things. It was one, I wanted to use phones that I was selling to people because I wanted to give them like a proper opinion of like, I have this phone, I used this phone before, this is what I think of it.
Right.
For someone like you. And it always is a great way for me to like recommend something to people. Just with anything in general even. I like to make sure that I have experience with it before I can recommend someone to something. And basically, I think what started the addiction was I had a customer come in. He was upgrading his iPhone 12 Pro to a newer iPhone, but his phone was cracked all over the place in the back, and the glass had a little bit of cracks on it, but couldn't be traded in because with T-Mobile, can't have cracks on your screen.
Right.
So he was okay with that. He upgraded to an iPhone 14 Pro Max, I think it was. At this point in time, I was actually looking to buy an iPhone myself because I always use Android phones. I'm an Android phone user, particularly Google Pixels are the phones that I love to use.
Let's go.
You have the Pixel 8 Pro and the Bay Blue.
Yeah.
I have the Pixel 8 as well. Like I have the regular Pixel 8, but as you can see, mine actually is the Bay Blue because nice. I got a custom vinyl skin and I made it the same color.
Really? That's so cool, man.
I didn't match the visor, but I made it a lighter blue, and it looks so nice. It's hard to take off this case. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with it. But yeah, basically on the back here, and this is a MagSafe case as well, because I can't live without MagSafe anymore. But as you can see, like on the camera cutout here, it's got the vinyl skin there. It even has the vinyl skin underneath these 2 points here. The top visor, or the top part of this, and then this is all that bay blue color. I custom did it. I just put the colors on the custom design website and was like, yep, we're good.
That's so cool, man.
Because I love the color of it. But yeah, back to the other story. I told him, I was like, well, I mean, if you're not going to be using that iPhone 12 Pro, man, I'll buy it off of you. $50. And he was like, yeah. So I bought an iPhone 12 Pro for $50. 1 month before the iPhone 15 came out. And I liked the phone. It is a pretty good phone. I still have it in my collection. I'm never getting rid of it because that's what started the addiction, really.
Right.
After that, more phones kept coming in, except it was just like recycling from customers that we're not going to be using the phones anymore, and rather than have their phone batteries expand, they're in my possession where I'm able to like keep them running or take them and let them be used somewhere else. What I actually do is any Elestral staff member that works on the TCG app I will send them a phone that is the opposite operating system from the one that they daily drive, if they don't have it. So, for example, I sent both Steve and Alex iPhones.
Okay.
Of course, they bought them from me, but I sent them iPhones. So that way they can test both on Android and iOS.
Right.
And it's been heavily crucial for the TCG app. And so I do stuff like that. And it's really fun to be able to do that. But over time, it did become an addiction of just like, what kind of cool phones can I get? What kind of cool stuff I can find and all that stuff. Like, there are so many different phones I have in my collection that are like really cool, different little things. Like if I go over here real quick, I could probably bring out a few that are just wild.
Let's go. Let's see them.
So yeah, I got like a few of my favorites right now over here. Like I have an entire like drawer, like few bins, small bins filled with phones.
Bins. I mean, with phones.
Yes.
That's incredible, man. That is absolutely incredible.
Let's see if I can move the camera over to it here. Might have to do some gymnastics here first. There we go. There it is in all of its glory.
That is incredible.
So many phones. It's hard to point it. But yeah, I got so many. It's for pointing this thing out. Yeah. So many different phones. It's a lot. It's basically you have a Pixel 8 Pro.
Yeah.
So you don't have every single iteration of the Google Pixel.
No, I do not. I've actually only currently held 3 iterations. I started with the 3A, and then I upgraded to the 6, and then from the 6 I went to the 8 Pro. So I've only held 3 iterations. You have every single one of them.
So I have the Pixel 1, so Pixel XL, Pixel 2, I have 2 Pixel 2s, 3 Pixel 2 XLs, Pixel 3, that's working, a non-working Pixel 3A, Pixel 4 that doesn't work, Pixel 4 XL that does work but cracked screen, 2 Pixel 4As, one of them was actually my first Pixel ever and what kicked me started with the Pixels, Pixel 5, Pixel 6A, 2 of those, Pixel 6 Pro, that I bought for $20 on eBay from an auction because it was just smashed to oblivion, and I was able to like repair it, get a replacement screen and back glass, and it works, but it was marked as stolen from AT&T, so now it's only a Wi-Fi only device. Pixel 7, which was my daily driver, and now my Pixel 8, which is my daily driver. The only one I'm missing is the Pixel Fold.
Yep, the Fold.
So like I have an extensive Pixel collection. But I have a few phones here that I brought over that are some really funny ones, because I am a funny guy. Of course, we all know about your typical flippy phones.
Yeah.
This is a perfectly working Z Flip 3, perfectly, we all know the new flippy phones, fun and stuff. Okay. Yeah. What about this little weird guy, the LG V60? But it doesn't flip. That's weird. But this is what's so cool about this phone, is the case for it. So this is known as the LG dual screen case for this phone. And what it is basically a second display. So if you put in this phone inside of the case, let me turn off bedtime mode because I like having it on monotone for bedtime mode. But as you can see, screen here. So once I plug in the screen, and then I push it in, then I just go up to here. Dual screen.
That is crazy. Yo.
So, very fun. Altogether, less than $200.
What? With the case and the phone?
With the case and the phone.
Yo!
And the problem is, of course, LG no longer makes phones. So because of that, the last version this thing got is Android 13, which was a surprise because they stopped making phones in 2021. But this is a fully working phone. And it's not a bad phone at all. I have a lot of fun with this. It's one of my favorites. I can imagine, man.
Sure. That's absolutely crazy.
But I mean, you know, this thing is gigantic.
Yeah, it looks huge, man.
Okay, if you don't like huge, gigantic phones,
let's do like a hand size comparison.
My phone size is about the same as a Galaxy S24 Ultra, probably.
I mean,
like the phone alone
is
about the size of an S24 Ultra, and that thing, like, it's big. I mean, granted, this is just a screen of one,
right?
But it's a big phone, and with a case on it, it's hard to like carry for me, like one-handed, because I have small hands. But like, yeah, you think this is big, okay? So big phone, but maybe you don't want a big phone. Maybe you want something smaller. Okay, then how about this?
Yo, that's crazy. What is this?
So this is the Unihertz Jelly 2E. It is a fully working Android phone that runs Android 12, has a fully working camera. This is an actual fingerprint sensor, like full volume rocker, power button, a custom like button. You can like have it be like do whatever you want. USB-C on the side. It's in a case right now with the lanyard port, but it also has Apple, you know, remove headphone jack. This thing has a 3-inch screen that has a headphone jack.
Yo.
But this thing also has an IR blaster, so I can actually use this as a TV remote, and I sometimes do.
Interesting.
So this is a very, very fun phone. I
love the name of it, Jelly.
But yeah, it is a fully working Android phone. Like 100% fully working. No issues whatsoever. It's a fun experience. Typing on this thing is surprisingly better than I thought it would be. The keys are super tiny, but Google's Gboard, it has really good recognition of like what you actually are typing. So it's a very fun phone. But I have like so many different phones from all walks of life, and they all have different stories to them. They've had previous lives with people.
Right.
So obviously, like, you know, it's fun.
That is fun. That's absolutely incredible. It reminds me of I am a cigar smoker, and there is a lounge that I follow out of Frisco, Texas, called Industrial Cigar Company. These guys are absolutely amazing. I love them to death. They consider you family from the moment that you walk in. You feel right at home with them. Even if you're not a cigar smoker, you go in there and they will kind of ask you like, hey, like what are your likes, what are your dislikes as far as like your palate goes, like that kind of thing. They'll get you set up with a cigar. You can smoke the cigar and that kind of thing. They have a really close relationship and partnership with a boutique brand owner. And the brand is called Principal Cigars. Now, that brand owner, he is a collector of antiquities. And some of the things that he has collected are just crazy, just random things that are like really cool. Like and he implements them into his cigar brand. So like into the packaging, like the boxes the cigars come in. There's one that has old like railroad bonds from like way back in the day, all repackaged and repurposed in these cigar boxes. And there's a line that he has made that has a cigar band that comes with, he bought out a old antique watchmaking company, and on every single cigar band of the certain cigar from that blend has a unique antique watch dial on it. So like the different dials of every single watch is on the cigar band, and it tells a story, like what you said with your phones. It kind of reminds me of that. It's wild.
Yeah, so like the stories with these phones is pretty similar, you know, like they have history behind them, the development history of these things, when they were released. Fantastic example, in terms of a phone like that, what is a weird looking phone. This is a Motorola phone. This is the Motorola One Fusion Plus, and upon first inspection, there's nothing really weird about it. You know, it's a normal phone and all that stuff. Well, first of all, if you see on here, there's no front-facing camera. Now, granted, I have this running a custom ROM. It's called Lineage OS. And this is what's so cool about Android, because you can, if your phone's unlocked with the bootloader, you can load custom ROMs on these things, and oh man, it's so much fun. So like this is basically, so this phone came out in like 2020, and the latest version of Android it was able to get was only up to like Android 11 or Android 12. With Lineage OS, it's on Android 13.
Okay.
But anyways, if I go into the camera app, and then I select this, it was one of those phones. It was one of those phones where it has the camera
it's
that
on
pops
the
out
inside. That's so cool.
So this was like a mid-ranger phone that came out for like $400 back in the day. It doesn't have the best specs in the world, but it had that one cool feature. So like it's a phone of its time. That was a time when a bunch of phones came out that had that sort of feature with their phones, because they believed that was like the next big thing, because of being able to have that full display.
Yeah, the full screen space.
Cutout whatsoever. And it just didn't become a thing at the end of the day, unfortunately. But there's like a lot of different phones that have that sort of history with them. Another one is I think Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL have this feature, but I have the HTC U11, which was one of the last like big flagship phones from HTC before they really went down under, in terms of like cell phone making. And the interesting thing about that phone is that it has, now this isn't the phone, but it had a squeeze feature, where you squeeze the bottom of the phone, and it would let you like open Google Assistant or do whatever you want with the phone. And that's a pretty cool feature, but it ended up not becoming anything with it. So like there's a bunch of phones in my collection that have that sort of history. Like I have an extremely durable phone that can be used in like construction zones. I have like just a bunch of different phones that historically have meant something one way or another. And it's a lot of fun. Right now, in terms of phones I'm looking for, and this is where my mind is, what kind of phones I'm looking for, are really historic type of phones, where they had an impact one way or another on the future of phones as we see it, as like the current day.
Right.
The first one is the Sharp Aquos Crystal. I don't know if you've ever heard of that phone before.
I have not, actually.
It was one of the first like truly bezel-less phones to ever exist. So the sides and the top of the phone are basically bezel-less. Like you don't see a single bezel. The bottom has a chin where it has everything like the camera, the selfie camera, but everything else on the phone, bezel-less. It is a beautiful phone. Another one is the Razer phone. I'm looking for the Razer phone 2 because that was like one of the big phones that like really pushed mobile gaming.
Yeah.
That and it just looks cool. Plus, the Razer phone was developed by some of the people that worked it with their phone development company for HTC. So, of course, you know, my first smartphone was the HTC Desire I, which was basically the HTC One M8, which is a legendary phone. So, obviously, I have to get a phone that was made by the people of HTC.
I had, I forget what it was called, but one of the phones that I had that I thought was really cool and like really stood out from like, this was before iPhones became a thing. This was back when still like, for like iTunes and stuff, you had to get an iPod. But it was a, cause everybody had like the cool like Razer flip phones that were really slender.
I have a feeling I know exactly what phone you're talking about. Is it the Motorola Rocker 1?
I don't know. It was a phone. I forget the name. I can't place it, but it was a touchscreen phone, right? But it had a slide up feature. So you slid the screen up and you had the keypad. Like,
oh, I have that.
An actual keypad. But it also had a feature where if you slid it up, it had the number pad, like the dial pad. So
that one.
It slid both ways and did both things depending on what you were trying to do with it.
I think I know what you're talking about. Originally, I was thinking you were saying about the BlackBerry Priv.
I remember those.
So that's an Android phone from BlackBerry where you slid it up and it had the physical keyboard, but you could also use it like a trackpad too. I have 2 of those. Both of them are in non-working condition, unfortunately.
Dang.
I want a working one so bad.
Those are so
but those
cool,
are not
man.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's another phone I'm looking for is the BlackBerry Key 2 LE, but those can be like up to $200 and I don't know if I can justify it really because it's on all the way back to like Android 8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And at this point,
yeah, it just gives the idea of like how far into my addiction I am when it comes to phones. But another big thing to point out for people at home listening up to this point, because I don't know how in the world they are, is like I actually do use these phones to help test Elestrals. That's a big thing to also remember.
Oh,
like,
that's cool. I didn't even think about that. So like you can use like the different
this phone, for example, I got it for media consumption purposes, but this is also an amazing device to be able to test out foldables on the Elestrals TCG app. Like an idea that I have is where like when you're playing against someone online or just in general with a foldable, your game is on one of the, so your side of the board is on one of these screens, and then the other side of the board, your opponent's side, is on the other screen.
Oh, dude.
Or like one half of the screen and then the other half. And then what you could do is you could like fold it up like this to make it easier to, you know, do that, where you have it sat down like right here. You see your side of the board, but then right there you see your opponent's side of the board nice and easily, without much issues. But maybe even in the future too, where it could be laid out like this, and you could have both people playing at the same time, maybe stuff like that.
That would be crazy.
So, I mean, that one would be a little bit difficult because both players would be able to see your hands.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But still,
I mean, like the possibilities are there. So, and like with the Unihertz Jelly 2E, I mean, obviously, I just wanted to play Elestrals on the world's smallest phone.
Yeah.
Genuinely, that's
Who
why
wouldn't?
I got the phone.
And it plays
Like,
just,
genuinely.
that's crazy.
A lot of the phones are also a little bit for testing as well. Like, we want to make sure that Elestrals works on your phone, obviously. So, because not every phone is created equal when it comes to like app development.
Right, and there's certain phones
Some
that
things
have,
will work on one. So some apps, so like some versions of the app will work on one phone, others will not.
right.
There might be issues specific to one phone that we have to like figure out and fix. And if I happen to have one, which most likely I usually will,
Yeah.
then we'll be able to fix it without much issue. So even though I do have a problem, at the same time, it is for the greater good. And yes, I do try to install Elestrals on as many phones as I can.
That's incredible. That's actually genius. Like, just, you're like, okay, so I have this massive collection of phones. This can help with the development of the Elestrals app. That's so cool to think about.
Yep.
You're using big brain over here, man. Big brain.
I mean, at the end of the day, I want to make sure this game is as playable as possible too. I know I'm just the music guy, but I want to make sure that everyone's being able to play the game and having a fun time doing it.
Absolutely. You're not just the music guy to me, Tails. I love you,
Thanks.
buddy. I love you,
Love
buddy.
you too.
Well, we covered quite a lot here, man.
I'm surprised we're almost at 11 o'clock p.m. for me. That's crazy.
Yeah, brother, that is insane. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hop on here with me and discuss Elestrals and discuss your career and give us some insight into who you are and how you do what you do, man. It's been a blast. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. Is there anything that you would like to say, anything that you would like to promote before we sign off here today? If so, the floor is yours.
So I'm not really going to promote anything because you all know me at this point. I'm always a part of the community, so you know how to reach out to me. Just remember that at the end of the day, I know I've said this multiple times, but I am here for the community. I am here for all of you. So if you need someone to talk to, I'm more than happy to say hello, talk, but also, you know, more than happy to like get feedback on the music. Like, is there anything that you want? Is there anything that you think would be cool? I'm always looking to make the music the way that people in Elestrals want it. That's going to sound amazing. So don't hesitate to reach out. We are not afraid to answer.
That's awesome, man. All right. But thank you once again for taking the time out of your day, man. This has been an absolute treat and an absolute blast. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did as well.
Of course, it was my pleasure.
And I hope all of you did as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to Elestral Central and to WindZ. And we will catch you guys on the next one later.
Have a good one.